booties for black girl nerds.
Hi, this is Jamie Broadnax with Black Girl Nerds, and I'm here on the set of Wicked to talk with the cast. So stay tuned for some excitedly and wickedly fun interviews coming right up. So Cynthia, I will start with you. Elphaba is treated kind of like an outcast and by her peers, and that's a huge part of her development that I've noticed throughout this story. Do you think that her insecurity enhances her power, or is it different than like being seen as vulnerable?
I actually have never seen her as insecure. I always believe that she's very secure in who she is. I think that she comes into it finding it quite difficult to connect. That the barrier is what she looks like, and that a lot of people place judgments on her, and I think it takes her time to let go of the things that people believe of her to really connect with who she is. I think she's dampened her power to fit, and has to learn how to allow that internal power of hers to come out, which allows her, I think, to fly. And I think it's actually the release of the things she's been holding inside that enhance her power. I think the more she lets go, and you'll always see in moments when she's truly emotional and she lets go of the reins when it comes to her emotions, that's when her power comes about. And towards the end, when we see her at the end, she's just let go completely. I think that's the enhancing of her power, who she is on the inside, the emotions that she has, yeah.
It's such a powerful and beautiful message that I know is going to resonate with a lot of audiences.
Thank you very much.
What do you think Glinda is to you overall?
Well, I think the thing about her is that she definitely has a little bit of insecurity that she's making up for, a little bit. And I think that is very okay. I think she wants to find magic, her own magic, in the way that Elphaba has magic. I think she sees her and is in awe of her. I think she clocks instantly how amazing she is, and she's in awe and she's inspired. So I think it's a little bit of everything. You know, when she finally gets challenged by her in that way in the Ozdas ballroom, she becomes a more good version of herself. I think that's my favorite thing about Glinda, is her ability to grow and change and to become what it truly means to be good, even if it is there dormant before and she doesn't know how to really tap into it because she's more consumed by what others think, or making her friends laugh, or being, you know, the most liked person she can be. I think when she learns through meeting Elphaba how to become her best self, is that's my favorite thing about her, is how she can grow.
I love how her character just evolves in this journey that we experience with her in this film. And my last question to you, Cynthia, your makeup looked stunning and flawless.
How insane.
Wasn't it insane? And like the body makeup with the arms and everything.
The freckles.
The freckles, the detail was amazing. So did that have any impact on your performance, like the weight of the makeup or the process of it at all?
I really relished it. We had a decision to make. I was asked if I wanted to do CGI or if I wanted it to be practical. I opted for practical because I wanted to see the transformation every day. I wanted to turn into Elphaba. And I had a wonderful hair and makeup team who really took care of me. The makeup was very light. Once it was on, I forgot it was on. But we were very specific about what we wanted and how we wanted it to look. The contouring, the freckles, the eyes, the hair, the nails, all of it. All very, very detailed picks that we decided that would create the full picture of Elphaba. And yes, they definitely did have an input on what you end up seeing on screen, because it influenced what I would do every time I would see it in the mirror. And also it influenced how people would react, because there were people who didn't see me out of makeup. That's who they met me in makeup. And so their reactions were genuine when you would see them on camera. And I loved being able to experience that, because it felt real and it allowed me to sort of access all of those nuances for her.
Beautiful movie,
Thank you.
stunning performances. I got
you.
goosebumps during Defying Gravity. I was like, oh my gosh, it was everything and more. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak to Black Girl Nerds. I really appreciate the
Thank
conversation.
you.
for coming.
Thank you very much. I'm a fan.
Well, thanks so much for taking the time to speak with me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Jonathan, I'm going to start with you. Fiyero gets exposed as someone who isn't really being their true self.
Yes.
Would you say that his performance of being charming is something that he's putting on because it's something that he wants to do to feel accepted, or how would you kind of dissect who he is?
I think his charm is a self-preservation and a defensive mechanism. I think, I think he finds himself sort of tediously bored, I think there's a sort of malaise to him at the beginning of the film that only Elphaba really picks up on, and just like anyone who comes into, well, especially Cynthia Erivo's performance of Elphaba, she pops his bubble, and I think that was the most exciting thing, is to how to tee up the scene with the lion cub, and to have as much fun in the process. I think was key. But yeah, I think he's a troubled soul, actually. I think.
I really enjoyed the scenes with you and Cynthia together. It was really delightful.
Oh, thank you.
Jeff, over to you as the Wizard. The Wizard is charming. He's charismatic. He's got swagger. Was this much of a stretch for you? I mean, it seems very on brand with who you are.
Those qualities are all unfamiliar to me. I had to look for models in some way, and mostly I kept a picture of him on my refrigerator for about a year. I still have it there.
Chilly.
Yeah, I did. What were you talking about? You were just talking about. Wait, you were just talking. I like that. Let me piggyback on that, because the theme of being inauthentic and lying in some way, and then coming in contact with somebody like Elphaba and Cynthia, in the hands of the great Cynthia Erivo, is a person who goes, tell the truth. Tell the truth. I'm myself for one reason or another. Tell the truth, and I'm in the throes of becoming my better self, and you're drawn into her vortex, and me, because I'm lying about one thing or another, and him, and all sorts, and Ariana, Glinda, we get shocked into something more authentic and unmasked.
Yeah, there's so much to unpack with all of these characters, and I love the dynamic of how it all plays into this narrative. Jonathan, back to you. Wicked is such a beloved musical by fans everywhere. Did you feel any pressure going into working on this film, or did you just approach it like any other project?
No, for sure. I mean, I saw the original London cast, and I've loved it for the 21 years that it's been on stage. I love Norbert Leo Butz. I, with hesitation, had him in the back of my mind all the way through. And I just felt, if you can serve him, and if you can serve the performances of everyone else in the cast, and if you can serve the fans, then we're all happy. And to see the film for the first time, as we did in Sydney, it was incredibly emotional to be there with people who, obviously, there's so many Easter eggs and there's so much nuance and surprises, but really it's the love letter to that original production, and to be a part of it is just obviously knockout. And yeah, I think we all are as bigger fans as
We're
the next
wild
guys.
Fans, and we've met some now wild fans, because they've come up to us, and we were all wild fans. Yeah.
Well, it was certainly an emotional experience for me. I can't wait for everybody else to see it. And thank you so much for taking the time to speak to Black Girl Nerds.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Hi, thank you so much for taking time to speak with me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, indeed. So, Marissa, I'm going to start with you. Ironically, out of all of the cast of characters, I feel like your character speaks and really just lives in her own truth compared to everybody else. Would you say that that's a fair characterization of who she is?
Yeah, definitely. She's somebody that really wants people to know who she is and really scream from the rooftops, hey, I'm good. Like, I am my own person. I can do so much by myself. Like, I don't need any extra hands. Like, I'm okay, I'm good. And I think she really does hold her own, or at least tries her best to hold her own whenever she can.
Yeah, I really admire her strength and just sustainability in this story. And Ethan, over to you. Your character, on the other hand, he's kind of living a lie. And I noticed there's a theme with the ensemble here that everybody seems to be a little bit insecure in their ways of navigating this world. So do you think that he is insecure? And if so, why do you think that is?
I definitely think he's insecure. I think Bach doesn't know where he belongs, and he's looking for a place to belong. And I think in this moment, he thinks he's finding it. You know, and throughout this movie, I think he thinks he's really finding it. It's really only at the end that things become a little more complicated. But I would challenge that he's living a lie. Because I know what you're saying, and I see where you're coming from with it, but I think that Bach is really genuine in a lot of ways. He is doing the thing where, you know, asking Nessa to the dance instead of asking the person that he really wants to go with. That is not doing the thing he wants to do, but it's coming from a genuine place, and they have a real connection. And I think when he says that she's wonderful, that she's beautiful, there's truth behind it. It's just not the same relationship. It's not requited. It's not the same thing. So I think that there is something that is not quite fulfilling what he's looking for, but I think that their relationship is really could be a beautiful one if things went a different way.
Indeed. I love the complexity and the dynamic of your relationships and then just all of the relationships with these characters in this film. And Marissa, back to you. What have you enjoyed most about this whole experience? I mean, this is such a magical, beautiful film. Is there a scene or a moment that still resonates with you long after filming?
I think there's definitely a number of answers for this for me because just so much of it has been so great and magical. But I think the Ozda's ballroom scene, because it was a chance for me to explore an art that I wasn't super familiar or comfortable with, that being dance. At least confident anyways that I had all the skills there to do it. But hiring a wheelchair choreographer to help navigate all of that was very empowering for me, and I learned so many skills that I'm going to definitely take with me still wherever I go. And it was just fun in general to film. It was, yeah, the music, everything, just a lot of fun.
It was hard to not sing too loud in the theater with the music. My last question for you, Ethan, there's so many great lessons about friendships that we learn in this film. Did you learn anything about yourself while doing this?
I definitely think so. I think that there's a lot that we project onto others that are our own insecurities, as you were talking about. And I think by playing somebody who is doing that or having it done to him in a couple of different places, I think it allowed me to look at myself and see where I was projecting onto somebody else and not seeing them for who they are. So I do think that I learned a little bit from that experience, for sure.
Well, I look forward to seeing this film when it comes out. I mean, I saw the film already, but I look forward to other people's, conversations and reactions to the film when this comes out. And thank you so much for taking the time to speak to Black Girl Nerds. I appreciate the conversation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Weren't those interviews wickedly entertaining? Stay tuned for Wicked, coming out in theaters November 22nd. Thanks so much for taking the time to tune into our interviews today. See you next time.
Better shake your booties for Black Girl Nerds. Better shake your booties for Black Girl Nerds.